put it there. Yonke the best way normal. They slice it.
Yep, that was the first draft of our chicken coop. It's okay. You can laugh because we did laugh at ourselves. None of us knew anything to do with woodwork. Just me and my husband raw dogging it. So I fell into the homesteader trap of getting 2 chickens. Then there were 7. And as we are fixing a new, bigger coop, it is because the flock has grown to 22. These girls cannot all fit in the little coop that we had. And so we embarked on a journey to build another coop to make these girls a bit more comfortable and safe because there's foxes around here. So sadly, they can't free range without any restrictions now. Due to the summer coming about, the foxes are coming out. So we went on a journey. We looked for some wood. We didn't want to spend a lot of money because I personally do not believe that this lifestyle ought to be built only on money. And so I went on Facebook and I posted in our local Facebook group to say if anybody had any wood that they perhaps were not using or any pallets, something of that nature, to get in touch with me. And the Lord provided. On the same day, someone said, hey, I'm just taking down a shed and I have a ton of wood that I would have otherwise thrown away. Do come around and have a look. And so we did, and we had beautiful wood to work with. So here I am trying to work out how to cut an A-frame. And we are building an A-frame chicken coop that we can move about. So let's get going. Allow me to flex for a moment to cut this wood into a perfect A-frame. I'm not even a carpenter, but I did this. Well done, me. And so as you can see, we then pulled that first structure down completely because we could see that it just wasn't going to hold. Whatever it is that we were doing, we clearly did not know what we were doing. I mean, we quite frankly still don't know what we're doing, but we kind of have a clued up idea now. One thing for sure, we figured how to cut the corners, the angles, to make sure that we screw every angle together perfectly in so that it stays in and strong. So here we are with my husband laying down the base of the coop and also figuring out how to do the A-frame and make sure that the roof stays intact. It was a beautiful day. Slightly chilly wind, but it is warming up. Wales has a very different weather, I must say, compared to England where I was. It's slightly colder, but we are appreciating the warmer days. We're seeing a bit more sun now. We are definitely not suffering rain on a daily basis. The sun rises a little earlier now. It sets a little later. It's a beautiful time to be out and about. And perhaps I should mention how the move to the country is such healing, so to speak, to a family, especially when there are a lot of jobs to be done. It forces you to work as a family. It teaches you the importance of working with those you love, of always trying to find a way to work together, to solve problems together. And if you're like me, who always wants to have her own way out of life, it teaches you how to share, perhaps, how to have life with other people and know that it's not your own ideas and opinions that always matter. that perhaps some people have better solutions superior to yours, and that's okay. You're still human, you're still valuable. And I have appreciated this Coop building project so much. It definitely had us working together. It definitely taught us patience, taught us kindness, and improved our communication. I mean, let's be honest. Communication as couples, yeah, it's one of those things that sometimes can be a challenge to navigate. But you find that we're working together. Bit by bit, you learn how to or how not to. And here we are. By the way, I had never in my life used a drill. So this was first experience, unsupervised. My husband was at work, but I needed the project to keep going, so I did what I could best. And funny enough, it worked. And so I guess I'm also kind of learning those little lessons that we always hear about, right? Try again, as we were told as kids. Explore. Definitely the country life is teaching me a whole lot more about that. Exploring and trying and learning new things that you never really thought you could need or use. And even if you don't use them immediately, you might need them 5 years from today. The fact that you have learned the skill, learned a different trade, you never know where it's going to take you. So I know it's a question that a lot of people would have in their minds right now. Why would I choose this life? Why would I choose to live this way? Why did we see it fit to take our family and move here? And, one of the most interesting things I read in a book called Adventist Home, the author says, it's often the case that parents are not careful to surround their children with the right influences. In choosing a home, they think more of their worldly interests than of the moral and social atmosphere. The children form associations that are unfavorable to the development of piety and formation of the right characters. But then she said something after this that really stuck with me. She said parents who denounced the Canaanites for offering their children to Moloch. What are you doing? You're making a most costly offering to your Mammon god. And then when your children grow up unloved and unlovely in character, when they show decided impiety and a tendency to infidelity, you blame the faith you profess because it was unable to save them? No, you're reaping that which you have sown, the result of your selfish love of the world and neglect of the means of grace. You moved your families into the places of temptation and the ark of God. Your glory and defense you did not consider essential. That really stuck with me. Because for me, country living has always been something of interest to me. As a person who loved agriculture, person who loved animals, I always kind of felt like I was going to end up in a farm somewhere, because loving the animals and all sorts of things could only be conducive in a farm environment. But then as I grew in my faith and embraced the country living message, now I started thinking about it in terms of family, in terms of character and all sorts of things. And reading statements like these often makes me think, I'm grateful to God that when I heard him speak about this, he opened a way and we left the city. It has been 2 times that we have left the city. We left the city when we were still back home in Africa. And as we moved to the UK as well, we figured we still can't do the city life thing. And we have since started afresh in Wales, and I'm grateful for that grace. So grateful, because it has shown me just what I stand to gain, what my child also stands to gain. I mean, I see her taking care of the chickens, and she talks to them, she cuddles them. This morning, I said, go and pick the egg that was laid by the hen in the shed. And she said, well, did the hen say I can take the egg? And I laughed to myself, because I thought, how many times do I actually think they have feelings, the eggs are theirs, and she thinks of them that way. And, for me to have so much respect for nature, to have so much love for something as small as a chicken, that really said to me, there's so much to gain in country living. And I wish I could share with a lot of parents to say, it is not convenient. I can give you that. It is not an easy life. I can promise you that. It is definitely not easy. I mean, the amount of just things that assailed me from January until this time, my goodness, I some of which I didn't even fight a good fight. Let's be honest, but the sweetness thereof, of experiencing this life of growth, these lessons that otherwise I wouldn't have learned. I mean, I was just venting to my friend yesterday, and I said to her, all I did was go and collect some compost at a nearby farm. It's free. And I went, and I said to my husband, let's go, because we need it for the garden. That's all I did. And it took me less than 2 hours to reach 10,000 steps already. I was tired and everything in between, and we still need to get ready for the Sabbath. But the beauty when you see your vegetables growing, when you see things coming together, when you see biblical themes coming alive, that can never be compared to anything. Just that closeness to nature, the ability to say, I'm upset, let me take a walk, and all you see is trees and little ponds of water and the sound of chirping birds, that can heal you. That is definitely healing. It's definitely needed for our souls. And so this is why we have chosen this life. We want influences even for ourselves, not only for our daughter, but for ourselves as well. Adults as we may be, we are still God's children. We still do not have answers for everything. We still need guidance as well. Our characters need to be shaped. They need to be chiseled. Things need to be taken out. Things need to be put there. Things need to be practiced and exercised. And I see that. It may be slow. It may be uncomfortable. It may be downright exhausting. It feels hard sometimes. Like, why should it feel so hard? But I think of what Jesus said. If any man desires to follow me, let him take up his cross. The cross is definitely not an easy thing to carry. And the life that we live in the countries is a daily reminder that the cross is not easy, but it is so worth it. Oh, my dear friend, it is so worth it. And so, as you can see, we are at almost the end of building our coop on this day. I think it was the third day after we started. And so I had to then move the excess wood so that we clean up the area and put the wood that we're going to use for raised beds in the shade, so that it is not just lying there aimlessly and just making the place look untidy. And so this is how we sometimes get the steps that we eventually reach at the end of the day with all the exhaustion. But it is worth it. I mean, here we are preaching on New Start, the necessity of good nutrition and exercise and sunshine and fresh air and the movement of the body. And you get all of that without having to sign up for a gym membership or lift some iron bars. And so perhaps one of the things I'm realizing is maybe all of us were actually made for an agricultural life. There's a lot of things that we definitely could live without, one of which is the gym, because you definitely get your daily exercise from just the work needed around the farm. So the main structure was finally done. The mesh wire was put on the run side of the coop. But we wanted to be ready for the Sabbath before the sun set. So we then decided that we would finish up the doors on another day, and we would just get the hands into the coop and use some of the wood just to block off the doorway sides. I am pleased with how it turned out. We definitely haven't finished, as it is not as cold weather friendly. We do plan to put some sails and staple them onto the coop so that it doesn't let any water into it and the hens are not cold. There's still stuff to be done, perching sticks for the chickens and all sorts of things, but the main structure is really done and I'm pleased with it. And the fact that it's something that we can walk inside and my daughter can walk comfortably inside, so that's good. Then she can do all the picking of the eggs so easily. We feed better now. I am so proud of us. I don't want to lie to you. I am so proud of us. It was not an easy job, but we got it done. We so got it done. And so here we are now trying to lure the chickens into the bigger coop. They're obviously a bit confused because they're used to the smaller one, but well, we tried our best. We also have my daughter and her friend helping us. As you can see, you will see in future just how it is to work with children. Not always straightforward, but enjoyable and worth it and good for their own character.
No, take it to the house. Anna, move from there. Move so I can shoot the chicken that way. Come this side, Mr. Lee. Come. Here. Come here, you. Leave it. Leave it. It's okay.
Who wants to play with me? Who wants to go on the trampoline?
See, let's okay.
Who wants to go on the trampoline? Who wants to go on the trampoline?
Huh? Where are you going to use the scooter, Nana? Okay, go.
And just in case you were always wondering why such a strange name for our YouTube channel, we grow on manna. The reason is here, just as you can see from this video. At the end of this project, we had grown a little. In skills, yes, but in character, in understanding why certain things happen the way they do, or why certain things have to be done the way they do, and in understanding each other, and in just working as one unit, a family unit, just as God designed us to be. And so the channel is called We Grow on Manna, simply because we can only grow as God provides freely, just as He provided the manna for the Israelites. He provides us with daily manna. It may not necessarily only stick to food. it is also in things like how he develops our character, how he provides opportunities for us to learn and grow characterly or characteristically, whatever the word is there, right? How he provides opportunities for social growth, for the growth of understanding our emotions and why we do what we do or why we shouldn't be doing what we're doing, of growing our thinking capacities. So many opportunities, so many ways that he provides, even in things like us being able to pick eggs each morning, providing us with an alternative income for our daughter to learn finances, how to run a business, for her to understand how the world works. Those, to me, equate to manna, the bread from heaven that God rained down for the Israelites to be sustained. Same with me. I am sustained by the opportunities, even the obstacles that he brings on a daily basis. I hate to say that because sometimes it feels like you're inviting more and more obstacles to come your way. But I've seen how obstacles, in as much as they are not the most nicest of things to go through, have always worked in my favor to grow me, to educate me, to make me a better being. And so, slowly, ever so slowly, I am starting to appreciate some obstacles that I've been through. I won't lie to you, some of them send me screaming and asking God, why this, why now? But I've seen myself grow from them. And perhaps that's the biggest why that one can stick to, that one can hold on to. And so we covered up the coop so that the hens are free from whatever predators could lurk around at night. We were tired, but also we needed to quickly go inside and finish up preparing for the Sabbath and rest in the Lord. This is why we ended the project here. As you will notice, there are two different coops with both with chickens inside. Something that we never anticipated happened. We realized the hens that we had rescued from the farm are not friendly to the flock that we had. We had such a kind and gentle and quiet flock. But the hens from the farm, they're violent. They peck on each other's necks and all sorts of things. Picking eggs at any random time of the day. And it has made my daughter so self-started in that she decided to start selling the eggs in our locality, and she has money in her money box. And so I'm hoping to be teaching her finance bit by bit from this little venture of hers that she started all by herself. As you can see, there's our coop, and the hens are safely inside enjoying their new home. Yes, we still have a lot to do in covering it up and making it homely and all sorts of things going on. But for now, that will have to do. Until the next time, when we show you a better, more complete coop, it's a goodbye from us. Thank you for watching We Grow on Manna, and for sure, we only grow as God provides, just like He provided the manna from heaven for the Israelites. Thank you so much. Bye.